Yea, though I walk through the streets of the shadow of death, I know I'm not by myself. Yea, though I walk through the streets of the shadow of death, every day I know that I am blessed.
Been anointed by the Most High, succession from the land of David, heir to Mashiach and Israelite. I'm not.
Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah and to his only begotten Son, our kinsman redeemer, Yahusha, Hamashiach. Also to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, who has been leading and guiding us into all truth in these last days. I'm your brother, Ya'ak Dawid Yasharel Yehuda, a.k.a. King David the Recruiter. Got a lesson I'm going to bring here before you today. We're going to get right into it. I will title this one, Overcoming the Dragon and the Beast. We're going to pick up from Daniel chapter 2 to start off this lesson. And we're going to go into the dream King Nebuchadnezzar had. Nebuchadnezzar in ancient Babylon, Daniel was interpreting his dream. I'm picking up Daniel chapter 2, verse 36. This is the dream. Now we will tell the interpretation of it before the king. You, O king, are a king of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field and the birds of the heaven, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are the head of gold. But after you shall arise another kingdom inferior to yours. Then another, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything. And like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, yet the strength of the iron shall be in it, just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay. Verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. Let's say that again. So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the Elohim of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to another people. It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Inasmuch as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God, Yahuwah, has made known to the king what will come to pass after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation is sure. So we have Daniel interpreting King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. He's explaining to him about the four different kingdoms. The head, which was him, King Babylon. There was gold. Then you have the silver, I believe it was, which was another kingdom. The Persians and the Medes, and then you have the Greeks being the third kingdom, and then you have the last and final kingdom, which was Rome. Four kingdoms he talked about. Okay, it's four kingdoms. We're now in the fourth kingdom, where we're at the 10 toes, right at the bottom, at the end, just before all those kingdoms, including the one at the feet, 10 toes mixed with iron and mixed with clay, shall be destroyed. Okay, Mashiach Yahusha is going to destroy these Gentile kingdoms and set up his millennium reign. Now I want to look at also, before we go to our next scriptures, about the iron mixed with clay. Okay, Roman Empire, the iron mixed with clay, said they should not adhere to one another. That has to do with a lot of things. Some may say that it's demon interference. Some say it's technology. It may be both of the two. But with all the things that's going on today, we cannot put it past anything, because anything is possible. They're mixing technology with people. It's demonic spirit, a lot of demonic activity out here, people being under possession and things like that. And we go back to Mashiach words. He said that just like in the times of Noah, so shall it be at his return. And if you can recall, during the time of Noah, as the scriptures tell us, the fallen angels had came down and they intermingled with human beings on the earth. That's why the Most High destroyed the earth before with a flood to wipe out most of humanity, because the blood gene, the pool was contaminated. Okay, he spared Noah and his family, and he repopulated earth from there. Let's go to Revelation 13. We're going to talk more about this fourth beast, because this is the time that we're in. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 13. In Revelation chapter 13, we have two different beasts. The first part is talking about the beast about the sea, and that's the first half of Rome. Okay, now we're in the revived Roman Empire, where America and the EU countries, NATO, are pretty much together at the time, causing havoc. And from my research and my study, the second beast is dealing with America. So I'm going to pick up from there, and we're going to go right over into Revelations 13 and 11, talking about the second beast and what it's going to do, and relate that to what Daniel was talking about in his dream that he interpreted, the dream that he interpreted for Nebuchadnezzar. The beast from the earth. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So we have here in Revelation chapter 13, the second beast, the first beast being Rome, and actually the Gentile European Union. We're not going to get into that today, but we can definitely do so if you have any questions, and I can give you more insight to that. But the dragon gave his power to the first beast. Then the second beast came out, and he said that he's going to force all people to receive a mark in their hand, rich, poor, small, whatever the case may be. Whatever that mark is, I believe, 2020 was a pivotal moment where things were instituted, where human beings and the technology that they used made the gene therapy made human beings susceptible to outside interference, fallen angel, DNA, technology, and so forth. So this is where we at. We coming to this time. And note that in Daniel, he says that they should not adhere to one another. Okay, I take that as a point, as a great word that was put in there for our use today. He's the whole scriptures. We got to understand that the scriptures is talking about the saints, the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? It's all about to us. We're the saints. We're the chosen people that were scattered to the four corners of earth. So when we read the scriptures, he's really talking to us, all the prophets, the Messiah, and so forth, the disciples. Mainly the words were for us, that we can have wisdom, that we can have understanding, and be mindful of what's to come, so that we may be prepared. So he's telling us, Daniel told us that whatever they try to do in these last days to the chosen ones, it shall not work. We shall not adhere to them. Okay, they should try to do whatever they want to do, but it's not going to work. Okay, and I can tell you how it's not going to work, and what we need to do in order to overcome that dragon and overcome that beast. All right, so that we can be sure to be in the kingdom. We be sure to continue on to eternity and be with the Lamb forever. Let's watch this quick video, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna break some more stuff down.
Oh my God. This is so scary, guys. They're doing it, guys. They had to create the 5G towers and the blue lights, which happened while you were home, to save lives and take something. So they told the scientists that they needed to have the 5G towers with the blue lights and the you-know-what from 2020. I'm not going to say what, but Fauci recommended it a lot, Dr. Fauci. All those three things combined, once you took that, their DNA is altered. So when they release a signal of 18 gigahertz, jump from the quantum computers through the 5G towers, through the blue lights, into possessing the bodies of those who took the you-know-what, turning them into complete zombies. They're going to search for death and not find it. When the time is right, they're going to release a signal of 18 gigahertz pulsating for 1 minute 3 different times, cracking open the nanoparticle gels that holds a pathogen that deletes gene 1p36. That gene is responsible for critical thinking.
Particles, the hydrogel, there exists pathogens inside of the particles that have not yet opened. Those pathogens are chimeric. They include E. coli, Marburg, Ebola, Staphylococcus, and brewer's yeast, amongst others. We know that upon the broadcast from the 5G system that is now employed across the United States, and the world for that matter, when they broadcast an 18 gigahertz signal for 1 minute, 3 different times as a pulse, it will cause those lipid nanoparticles to swell and release these pathogenic contents, thereby causing a Marburg epidemic that they've already spent the money on. It's already done, right? The Marburg epidemic, for purposes of the law, has happened, and now we just need the actual disaster to happen. And there's actually worse parts to it than that, including the 1p36 gene deletion that effectively will turn those poor people into zombies. Yeah. Odd as that sounds, our government's preparing for that.
Joel chapter 3. For behold, in those days and at that time, when I bring back the captives of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will enter into judgment with them there on account of my people, my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. They have also divided up my land. They have cast lots for my people, have given a boy as payment for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Indeed, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Philistia? Will you retaliate against me? But if you retaliate against me swiftly and speedily, I will return your retaliation upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my prized possessions. Also, the people of Judah and the people of Jerusalem you have sold to the Greeks, that you may remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place to which you have sold them, and will return your retaliation upon your own head. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the people of Judah, and they will sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off. For Yahuwah has spoken. Proclaim this among the nations. Prepare for war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble and come, all you nations, and gather together all around. Cause your mighty ones to go down there, O Yahuwah. Let the nations be wakened and come up into the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, go down, for the winepress is full. The vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahuwah is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon will grow dark, and the stars will diminish their brightness. And Yahuwah also will roar from Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. The heavens and earth will shake, but Yahuwah will be a shelter for his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So you shall know that I am Yahuwah, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then Jerusalem shall be holy, and no alien shall ever pass through her again. And it will come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drip with new wine, the hills shall flow with milk, and all the brooks of Judah shall be flooded with water. A fountain shall flow from the house of Yahuwah and water the valley of Acacia. Egypt shall be desolate. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom a desolate wilderness, because of violence against the people of Judah, for they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall abide forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will acquit them of the guilt of bloodshed, whom I have not acquitted, for Yahuwah dwells in Zion. I was reading out of the New King James Version, and I went and grabbed my sefer here really quick, because that last verse is very important in the book of Joel chapter 3. And I'm going to read that out of my sefer Bible. It probably reads the same way in the King James, but the wordings would change. See, they like to have a lot of information from us about these different translations, but it's important to make cross references and study to show ourselves approved. So I'm going to read the Joel chapter 21, actually from my sefer, and it says, "For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Yahuwah dwells in Zion." Okay? He says that, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. So the Most High is going to cleanse our blood. He's talking to Israel. He's talking to Israel. We're still in the land of our captivity, okay? We're not in our land yet. We're still in exile. We're still under the beast, the second beast of Revelation, the fourth kingdom of the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, that Daniel interpreted for him. We're still there at the 10 toes. We're in the land of our captivities. The transatlantic slave trade is prophecy, Deuteronomy 28, okay? So the plans that they have instituted, or they put out, that they've been pushing, is to pretty much destroy us and to have us mix the iron mixed with clay, the technology, fallen demon technology, and to corrupt the seed. But we shall not adhere. The children of Israel should not adhere to that. And we have to be able to understand the significance of the blood covenant of the Lamb. All right? The blood covenant. He came in and shed his blood. Yahusha is going to do this. Okay? There's order to this, right? There's order to this. The keys and all power and authority has been given to Yahusha. And he came in and brought the blood covenant. He renewed the covenant to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. All right. So that's how we're going to overcome the dragon. We're going to overcome the dragon, and we're going to overcome the beast by believing in Yahusha and being in covenant with him. He shed his blood for us. That's the reason why our kinsman redeemer, Yahusha HaMashiach, flesh of our flesh, blood of our blood, came and gave up his life, that if we believe in him, keep the commandments of the Most High, because he did not do away with the law. The only thing he did away with was the law of sacrifices and the Levitical priesthood. We're under the Melchizedek order at this time. Okay? He made us all kings and priests, all of us now, by his blood. All right? So that's how we conquer the dragon. That's how we conquer the beast, by being in covenant with him. Let's read in Luke. Let's go to Luke chapter 22. I'm going back to this New King James Version, because it reads a little bit different for, fresh ears, new ears who may not be used to our original language and so forth. So Luke 22, verses 19, and I'm going to pick up from there. And it says, all right, there's 19. So Yahusha's supper. He says, and he took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Likewise, he also took the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. All right, let's go to Lucas and the Sefer and see how that says this same scripture. Let's see here. Bear with me one moment. Okay. Lucas 22. Because I'm sure he's not saying this is the new covenant in the Sefer here. All right. So Lucas 22, verse 19. This is how it reads. And he took the bread and gave thanks and broke it and gave unto them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Verse 20. Likewise, also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the renewed covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. Okay? So he's saying the renewed covenant by his blood. The New King James Version is saying the new covenant. It's a difference between the renewed covenant and the new covenant. Renewed covenant is renewing the covenant that he made from the first time under Mount Sinai, down to the covenant he gave with the house of David, with David and his house. Okay, he's renewing the covenant with Israel and Judah. Judah was still in the land. Israel had already been taken in captivity 700 years before Mashiach came by the Assyrians, the northern kingdom. But the southern kingdom, Judah, Levi, Benjamin, was still in the southern kingdom. So that's the Israel, two different kingdoms. The northern kingdom, that's the other sheep gate they was talking about, the other sheepfold, right? They had already been taken away in captivity. Those the sheepfolds. So he was bringing the two sticks together, making one house again. All right, that's what he was doing, renewing that covenant, the blood covenant. Right? It's a difference between the new covenant. The new covenant truly hasn't come yet, because if you read in Jeremiah, matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 31. Let's go to Jeremiah 31. because the new covenant is going to take place when he gather us again, the second Exodus, and we can read about that in Ezekiel chapter 20 verses 33 through 38. We can read about that in Jeremiah 23 7 and 8 and some more places. But let's look at Jeremiah 31. And I believe it said probably 31. Let's see here. New covenant, Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days are coming, says Yahuwah, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, says Yahuwah. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my law into their minds and write it on their hearts, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says Yahuwah, for I will forgive their iniquity and their sin, and I will remember it no more. So that's the difference between the renewed covenant with the house of Israel and Judah and the new covenant. The new covenant hasn't come yet, because if it had, I wouldn't be teaching right now. I wouldn't be having to explain to my neighbor the scriptures, even to the least. We're all going to know, because he's going to put his word in our hearts, and that's going to happen when he gather us and he plead with us in the wilderness. That's the covenant when we get changed. All right. I have one more scripture, and I'm going to go to it right here. Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12, and we're going to pick up from verse 7. Revelation 12 verse 7. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our Elohim day and night, has been cast down. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to death. Okay? So we overcome, and we shall overcome the dragon, the serpent, the devil, and this wicked beast system by the blood of the Lamb, the renewed covenant that our kinsman redeemer shed willingly, right? Shed willingly for us, for the house of Israel. That's how we're going to overcome the dragon and the beast, through the blood covenant, by believing in Yahushua, and through the word of our testimony. All that we've seen, all that we know, all that has been revealed to us through the Ruach. That's how we're going to overcome. So family, keep the faith in Yahushua HaMashiach, our kinsman redeemer, and keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of your ability. He got us. No one shall snatch us out of his hands. All right? So shalom, family. I love you. Peace.
There's only one people on the face of the earth who won't let the Bible, the Israelites, and they will come out with great substance.
Ain't no games played, boy, I'm about that bitch.
There's only one people on the face of the earth.
They're shooting at me. You see, they're shooting at us.